सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. ॐ
I am just getting started into the Advaita Vedantas, and I just wanted to learn more about this text, and I saw some of your videos on YouTube, so I wanted to connect to you and learn more about this topic. So
Sure. Do you have any questions?
yeah, like lots of them actually. I have made a list right here with me, and I would like you to clarify and give some ideas regarding those questions. So
Sure,
if
go
you
ahead.
wish, you can.
Yes, most welcome.
Okay. The first question I have is regarding dharma. Like I've heard the word and the phrase dharma, and what does that really mean? And dharma and moksha, liberation. Like how are these two things actually related? Like do these two dharma and liberation, they go together, or are they separate, or what kind of correlation do they have in between? So I
Yes.
want to learn.
According to Sanatana Dharma, we have 4 Purusarthas, they are called. It is Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. So each and every apparent individual entity is passing through these Purusarthas, which are considered to be the human goals in life. With the most profound, of course, moksha, self-realization. But you cannot go straight away to moksha, usually. And as a rule, most of humans, they go through the first 3, firstly. So usually humans are trying to pursue artha, kama, and when they are more spiritually mature, they pursue dharma according to the Dharma Sastram. And then finally, when they are very spiritually mature, they go as mumuksus towards self-realization moksha. So usually this is the sequence. But if somebody feels ready enough and spiritually mature enough, can go straight forward to moksha. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that he should or she should abandon the duties that he or she have in this current lifetime. So in this Janma, if, for example, somebody is a father and a husband, should not abandon the family and the small children and the wife and go to the mountains or to the forest and abandon like that his duties as a husband and as a father. Only later on, for example, if the children are big enough, grown-ups, then after Vanaprastha ashrama, he may consider, for example, that he can take sannyasa vows. But again, this is not a must. This is not something that should be the case for each and everybody. It is depending on the circumstances and the prarabdha karma, the destiny of each and every individual. But dharma itself, at a certain mature level of spiritual maturity, should also be abandoned. But this should be on a very high, very profound spiritual maturity level, not before. So dharma is all the rules and regulations and the moral lifestyle that somebody should lead in his current Janma lifetime. And Dharma by itself cannot lead to moksha, to self-realization. It is not enough by itself to create self-realization moksha. It is only a stepping stone. It is only a prerequisite until somebody is mature enough, spiritually speaking. And gradually, when somebody is very prepared enough and can follow moksha, then of course this is the ultimate human goal. Because what to do in this lifetime and what can be more important than to find out who or what you really are as your true nature, as your true self. So it goes like this. There is connection between Dharma and moksha, but the most profound goal of human life is moksha. And as soon as possible, Dharma should also be overcome. Somebody must go even beyond Dharma. And we can see also that in Bhagavad Gita itself, where Krishna is speaking about moksha and about Dharma, that even Dharma itself is like a golden chains. There are better, let's say, chains made from gold, and he meant Dharma itself, but still it can create bondage. There are a lot of people who are struggling for Dharma, and they are stuck on the level of Dharma. Ultimately, somebody should go beyond even the Dharma itself. And also Dharma, it is on the level of this dream, the big dream of life, on the mind level, and itself is not the absolute truth.
Okay, that makes sense. And like follow-up question on that, like in today's world, like there are a lot of wrong things happening, the climate change, and lots of animals are being abused, and lots of problems. Like at what level can a guy like me or anyone can renounce the dharma? Because um, I think it is my duty as a citizen to save the planet as well. So, like at what level does I should consider renouncing the dharma?
Yes, to the best of your ability, you can try in your own life and in your family life to be a contributor, and also a contributor to the society and humanity and the entire ecology and ecosystem. But itself, it should not be a struggle, and it should not be on creating a trouble or a trap that will not lead you to moksha pursuit. Because this macro level of responsibility belongs to God itself, not to the individuals. So the Supreme Consciousness has the capacity to help, but not an individual. The individual must do, of course, at the best of his or her ability to contribute. But ultimately, it is responsibility of Isvara. So there are a lot of people who are completely involved in saving the planet, let's say, and they are forgetting that this is not their full responsibility. You know, the responsibility of an individual is to follow the scriptures, lead a moral lifestyle as per the Sastram, Dharma Sastram, and then as soon as possible to follow the direction towards moksha. So you can do whatever you can, but there is a limit of the human capacity to influence the entire cosmos. You know, you cannot spend your entire life trying to save the planet, and the others. You can do your best, of course, but sooner or later, the best contribution that you can offer to humanity and to the universe itself is your own self-realization. This is the highest gift that you can offer to humanity and the planet and the universe. There is no higher contribution, more profound contribution than your own self-realization. And on the ultimate level, this world, this planet, are only on the level of mithya, which means impermanence. It's not a real thing. It's only an appearance in Brahman. So by pursuing moksha, sooner or later, you will recognize that this world is only an illusion, only an appearance. It is called mithya, which means impermanent, fleeting, and not real. So it is better to focus mostly towards moksha if you want really to help yourself, your family, and the entire humanity and the entire universe.
Okay. And in Bhagavad Gita, to move towards the God realization or liberation, Bhagavan or Sri Krishna talks about the path of Karma Yoga. Like, would you say something about that Karma Yoga?
Yes, Karma Yoga, it is only for the purification of the mind and preparation of the mind, which is called Chitta Suddhi. Karma Yoga cannot lead anybody to directly to moksha, self-realization. Only Jnana Yoga can lead someone to self-realization, moksha. But nevertheless, Karma Yoga is a wonderful preparation and purification of the mind in order the mind at a certain mature spiritual level to enter in the path of Jnana Yoga. And also Karma Yoga by itself does not exist as per the scriptures as a path by itself. It's only the attitude and the mentality which accompanies the entire process to self-realization. So together, Karma Yoga together with Upasana, which is worshipping any Saguna Brahman, any deity that you feel comfortable with, are the two processes that can prepare you one day to enter Jnana Yoga. But if you feel that together with Karma Yoga and Upasana, you can also touch Jnana Yoga, it is absolutely okay, and you can do so. But if you feel that Jnana Yoga is too much advanced for you at this particular moment, at the present moment, you can combine it with Karma Yoga and Upasana in order to be completely prepared for Jnana Yoga. And of course, at a certain mature level, you must abandon Karma Yoga and focus only on Jnana Yoga. Except if you want to perform Karma Yoga or Upasana for the sake of others, to help others. But for your own self, at a certain mature level, you must abandon Karma Yoga and Upasana and focus on Jnana Yoga, self-realization, moksha.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense. And now, okay. And I was looking through your videos, and I saw one of your quote, and I want to bring that up here. When you are searching or seeking for a position, an event, or relationship, etc., in this dream life, in order to experience momentary happiness, it is because you stop seeing that veils what you really are. you quoted this. This is one of your quotes, and you said that you stop seeking that builds what you really are. Then, how am I to go back to what am I?
Yes, actually, our true nature is Sat, is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda. So by realizing and by recognizing and being convinced about your true nature, then you will experience what we call the reflected ananda, the reflected happiness, bliss, and peace. You are always this beginningless ananda anyway, but this ananda cannot be really experienced because it is on such a profound level that, and it is your own self that cannot be really experienced. What a human can experience, or a reflected consciousness, Chitabhasa, is only the reflected ananda on the body-mind complex. So when somebody is receiving a kind of pleasure or happiness from worldly things or worldly pursuits, it's not because the happiness lies in the things, the objects, the situations, the events, the relationships, or whatever, but it is because this moment the mind becomes conducive to the permanent ananda and reflect. The mind is capable enough, due to its receptivity this moment, to reflect a part of the infinite ananda. So it's not that as people believe that because they have received an object or a situation or a relationship or whatever worldly thing, it's not because of that really that they are experiencing happiness. So this sukham is due to the receptivity of the mind this particular moment, because the mind don't struggle this moment. If the person wanted a very beautiful car, and now he managed to take this car, to pursue this car, and finally he is inside the car and he is driving that car, the happiness is not because of the car. The happiness is because this moment the mind doesn't seek anything. The seeking is stopped. At least it is paused for this particular period of time. And because there is no seeking, since the driving is now happening, there is no seeking, the mind is conducive and can reflect the infinite ananda of Brahman, of the true self. So this is what this body-mind complex wanted to convey through this particular quote.
Okay, and you say the infinite happiness being reflected, and is it the same with the dream state? I mean, the sleeping state when we are asleep. In shastras, I think that is also uh, uh, compared to kind of peace or bliss. So, is that the same thing?
Yeah, it is close enough and similar, but not exactly the same. But what happens is in the deep sleep without dreams, the mind does not function. The mind is not in an activity mode, and the mind is tranquil and not in turbulence. So there is this kind of experience of peace and bliss and happiness, which can be remembered or recalled in the morning. So somebody said, I had a beautiful dream, a very deep, profound sleep without dreams, and it was very rejuvenating, and I feel beautiful, like I slept like a log of wood. And that brings this similarity and appears as the Ananda of the true self. But the real Ananda of the true self can never be totally experienced, because it is our true self, and it is beginningless. It is called Anandi, which means also beginningless, eternal. And because it is our own self, it cannot be objectified. It cannot be an object of experience. It's like it looks like when the eyes want to see themselves. The eyes cannot see themselves without a mirror, without a reflection. So the same with the nature of Satchitananda. The experience of Brahman cannot be there. We cannot experience ourselves as Brahman, because it is what we are. It is our true nature, our true self.
Okay, and adding on to that, the scriptures also say that the Brahman is nirguna or attributeless. Then how did the scriptures or the sages actually experience that attributelessness? Like, is it just a desirelessness state, or free of desire, or how can that state be attributeless?
The question exactly what it is? What
Uh,
is exactly the question?
the Brahman is nirguna or attributeless. Like, if that is attributeless, then how can it be experienced, or how can it be observed, or like
Cannot.
how exactly did the sages mm, came to know about that Brahman?
Is only through revelation from the scriptures and from Advaita Vedanta and the rishis.
Does that imply no personal experience, or no personal knowing?
Say again?
Does that imply no personal knowing or no personal experience about the Brahman?
Yes, Brahman cannot be an object of experience, never. The person can never have an experience of Brahman. It is impossible, because it is the nature itself, and the nature of yourself, the real self with capital S. So it is impossible Brahman to be experienced. You can experience, nevertheless, the absence of the body-mind complex, or the ego, or the person, the superimposed person, and the ego, and the possible somebody. It is very easy to see that it is not there. And this by itself creates peace.
Okay, that's fine. And now I have one Sanskrit now sloka, Om iti Brahman, or all this is Brahman. Uh, like, all this is Brahman. Does that mean, like, in what sense is the word Brahman? Like, uh, is it the nature of the particles of this universe that they refer in this sloka, Om iti Brahman, or like, in what sense everything is Brahman? Like,
First of all, there is no all. The all is only an illusion, but lacking of better expression, because the language by itself is dualistic. The nature of the language itself, it is only dualistic. So it cannot really convey the truth. But nevertheless, when we say all is Brahman, what we want to say, to convey, is that there is only Brahman. Not that the all is Brahman, because the all never existed. There is no creation. Nothing ever existed. There is only appearance. There is no a beginning of creation or a beginning of what you see as the universe. It is only an appearance. But the only way to say something is by saying all is Brahman, or there is only Brahman. Because if there is only that, then where is the all? The all are only of the nature of illusion, Maya. So Maya is all what we see as an appearance. And it is like a shadow of Brahman itself. But it never really existent. It was never what we see as a universe, as apparent objects, apparent beings, and the apparent universe is only an appearance. It does not have inherent existence. And thus, there is only Brahman. Brahman is the only reality. Brahman is, we can call it awareness, consciousness, but still, all these are only words. Brahman is beyond any attributes. It does not have attributes. So that's why also it cannot be objectified, because it does not have any characteristics. For example, how to experience Brahman, since Brahman does not have a sense of touch. You cannot touch Brahman. How you can experience Brahman by the eyes, by vision. It does not have a form, a shape. So how you can experience it? It does not have also a smell. It does not have also a sound. So how you can experience something which is beyond any attributes? And also it is what you are. So since it's what you are, how you can experience it? How that which you are can be the object. It cannot be objectified. The same as the example with the eyes. The eyes cannot see themselves. Only if there is a reflection medium, like the mirror, then the eyes may see themselves. The same with the human being, the body-mind complex. This is what we call Chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. Only like that Brahman can be reflected. So then somebody says, my true nature is Brahman. I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Brahman itself cannot say Aham Brahmasmi. Brahman cannot say anything at all. Brahman cannot be a bhokta, an experiencer. Brahman cannot be a karta, a doer. So we say Brahman is akarta and abhokta, not an experiencer, not a doer. The same when we speak about Atma, which is synonymous. So all these on the level of the mind experiencing are on the level of impermanence and dreamlike. That's why all these people who want experiences, spiritual experiences, they are in a big trap and they will be lost. Because if you are searching for spiritual experiences, you will be lost. Because all experiences are mind, only on the level of the mind. So if you are struggling to have any kind of spiritual experiences, you will get lost. That's why we need the revelation from Isvara and the scriptures that to say to us, wake up. You have never been a body-mind complex, a jivatma, a soul, or an individual identity. You have always been of the nature of Satchitananda. Infinite beingness, impersonal beingness means Sat and truth, something which is not mithya, something which is permanent. Chit means infinite and permanent consciousness awareness, and Ananda means beginningless, infinite peace, happiness, and bliss. So this is the revelation from the rishis and of the sastram themselves, and this revelation only can help, which is not man-made. It is a revelation from consciousness itself, from the rishis, from which, of course, rishis received as a transmission from Isvara. So that's why we say the Vedanta is aparuseya. It is not man-made, and it is infinite truth. And then gradually you use all the prescriptions from the sastram to have a permanent recognition and conviction that yes, aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. And how you do that? You do that with Sravanam, which means you are study and listening teachings on a regular basis, systematic basis, or with a competent guru under his guidance, who is belonging to an authentic lineage, a guru parampara or sampradaya. Then you do Mananam, again with him, not alone, which means that you clarify your doubts, you dissolve your questions, and you have complete understanding without any doubts. And then you proceed with Nidhi Dhyasanam, Vedantic Meditation, where you are internalizing this teaching, this truth that you have received from Sravanam and Mananam. And then you use a conducive lifestyle, a moral lifestyle, a lifestyle which is according to the Dharma Sastram. So you can be the right human being for a complete and profound understanding. And finally, with Nidhi Dhyasanam, the Vedantic meditation, it will appear a mature states where you have this permanent recognition and conviction that I am Brahman. I have never been a somebody, an individual identity, an ego, a person, a human being, or a being of any kind. I was always beingness itself, and nothing else than that. So this is the process as per the Sastram, as per the scriptures. And this is a guarantee. There is no any doubt, there is no doubt of this, that if you follow all these prescriptions, you will end up in self-realization moksha. Not as creating something anew or pursuing something anew, but just revealing to yourself that you have always been nitya mukta, eternally self-realized. Only now you have removed the veiling of the thinking process and the false misconceptions, all the false beliefs that I am an individual identity, a part of this universe, or part of humanity, or part of beings. But all this process is a process that should be followed as per the scriptures, and not removing any of the constituents of the recipe. It is like a recipe. If you want to make a dish, salty or sweet dish, you follow a recipe. If you remove any of the constituents of the recipe will not be okay. So it is the same with the process towards recognition and conviction that you are Brahman. It needs everything to be followed 100%. And then the scriptures are giving this guarantee that if you follow, if the mumuksu, the seeker for moksha, will follow all these prescriptions, then the result will be moksha, self-realization. No doubt of this.
Okay, now that was a very good explanation for me. Now, there were sages like Raman Maharishi who like, would you like to talk something about them? Like they were realized, or they realized God. They were liberated uh, uh, very quickly than most of us will ever do. So, what are your thoughts on them?
Look, every realized one had a guru and followed a spiritual tradition and did sadhana, spiritual practice, in previous janmas, in previous lifetimes. It seems that Ramana Maharishi at 16 years old had an death experience, an apparent death experience, which led him to see that the body-mind complex can die, but not myself. And he went and he was doing a lot of sadhana and practice in the caves and temples and out of the worldly pursuit. But in our scriptures, it is very easily to see that all these sages and realized masters, they are called mystics. Mystics are those who in this in their last lifetime they didn't have a guru, they didn't follow a guru parampara or sampradaya, and they are finally got moksha. But actually they did that in previous janmas as per the scriptures. And they needed a little bit to finish this process. And this, we call them mystics. So as per the scriptures, we follow these sages and these mystics only for their blessing. So we go, we receive their blessing and their inspiration, we become inspired, but we should not follow a mystic as a guru, because the guru haven't received the methodology and the tools and the practices and the systematic study and teaching from a guru and a guru parampara. So he is not able actually to guide a spiritual seeker or a mumuksu towards moksha. So we can go to a realized one like Ramana Maharishi and receive a blessing and receive inspiration, become inspired. But that's all. As soon as possible, we should find a guru who had received all the teaching and all the instructions and all the systematic study of the scriptures. And only such a guru can be enough for leading, for instructing somebody in an effective way towards moksha. So when a lot of people are saying, I follow Ramana Maharishi or my guru is Ramana Maharishi, it is only a joke. Because Ramana Maharishi, of course, he was a sage and a realized one, but you cannot have as a guru somebody who is not alive. Because how you can receive guidance like that? You know, the scriptures are very, very difficult to pursue and to grasp. And so the scriptures have the need of guru to help us and to have clarity of their meaning. So a guru who is not alive as a physical appearance cannot be of much help. He can serve only as an inspiration, of course, and as receiving blessing, but not enough for guiding someone, a spiritual aspirant, towards moksha. So a lot of people are just in a trap, and they will end up in confusion, ignorance, and darkness if they just read the books of Ramana Maharishi or trying to follow his instructions. It is not enough. There is an indispensable need, as per the scriptures, of a live guru who is able to give us true guidance. And a guru also should have particular attributes and characteristics. A guru should be also someone who was a sishya of another guru, a disciple of another guru. Not somebody who is a self-proclaimed one and who is using this position or title to make money or to accumulate wealth or to live a wealthy life. So a real guru will offer teaching and guidance only because of compassion towards the sentient beings and because of his love to help as many as possible. And he will never charge anybody for this teaching and guidance. He will offer it always free of charge. And he will live a very simple lifestyle and not a demanding one. He will live a very humble lifestyle, in simplicity, just having some food, a normal shelter for himself, and if he is a grihasta, also for his family, and that's all. He will never use his position as a guru to attract wealth or money or whatever. So, but nowadays, unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, there are so many fake gurus who are millionaires or even billionaires, and they are exploiting the teachings. They are like demons. They are using the holy teachings, the sacred teachings, for ego satisfaction, their ego gratification. So a real guru is also the one who either he is a sannyasin, a monk, or he is a grihasta and leads a moral lifestyle with his family. He's not pursuing lovers from his students, like a lot of scandals are appearing in Kali Yuga. A lot of so-called gurus trying to pursue lovers from their community of followers. So this is a demonic activity, of course, and so on and so forth. So a real guru also is prescribed in the scriptures, and also his attributes, his characteristics. He must be humble, he must be simple, he must be respectful to his guru parampara, and also had the guru, of course, as a sishya, and so on and so forth. He must be competent in conveying the teaching, and especially conveying that everything is Brahman. This is the highest and most profound teaching that a real guru will say to his followers, that you are Brahman. You must go even beyond the need of a guru at a very mature stage. And you can recognize when you are fully mature that you are really the guru as Brahman, as your true nature. So yes, Ramana Maharishi and many, many others who didn't belong to any guru parampara and they didn't have a guru, they can be also for inspiration. And if they are alive, we can go, we can receive the blessing and go back finding a real alive guru. except if somebody is on the level of Ramana Maharishi, of spiritual maturity. Then he can stay alone and he can reach self-realization, moksha, alone. But really, how many are like Ramana Maharishi that in 16 years old could enter moksha? Not so many. But unfortunately, this is the phenomenon of Kali Yuga. A lot of people, millions and millions, they are following so-called gurus, fake gurus, who are speaking that their lineage or their Guru Parampara is of Ramana Maharishi. But this is a joke and tragedy together, because Ramana Maharishi never belonged to any Guru Parampara. He have never received a systematic teaching and the methodology and the practices and all that is required for somebody to act like a guru and to play that kind of a role. Because how you can lead somebody if you didn't receive all the methodology and the practices and the study and the teaching and the understanding and all the tools that the Guru Parampara can offer to you. And then also a Guru Parampara, it is a very safe environment for a spiritual aspirant. It is a safe environment because even if the Guru will leave the body and enter Mahasamadhi, then there are other gurus that the spiritual aspirant can reach in the same Guru Parampara. So he will never be alone. To pursue moksha alone is only for spiritual mature beings like Ramana Maharishi, not for everybody. So in most of the cases, it is indispensable to follow a Guru Parampara and a Guru. Otherwise, you will get lost very, very quickly. And you will be full of ignorance, darkness, and lack of clarity.
Okay, that makes sense now. And moving on, would you like to talk something about the Brahma Sutras, the text Brahma Sutras?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Brahma Sutras are not for a beginner. Actually, a spiritual aspirant in the path of Advaita Vedanta must previously have studied at least 10 Upanishads before, and of course Bhagavad Gita, and even better, some of Adi Sankaracharya's Bhasyams and works, before he will try to enter Brahma Sutras. So the Brahma Sutras are on the level of Mananam, not on the level of Sravanam. Brahma Sutras are there to help you dealing with your doubts after you have received Sravanam, the teaching and the study of the scriptures under the competent guru. Then with your guru, you can go into the level of Mananam. And then, of course, the level of Nidhi Dhyasanam, the Vedantic Meditation. You can do simultaneously, of course, but always through the guidance of the guru, never alone. Like the scriptures are made for two groups of people, two groups of spiritual seekers. The very advanced ones, or senior students, senior aspirants, spiritual aspirants, and junior, or not advanced at all. So it is not easy to recognize the teaching if you don't have the guidance of a guru. You take one verse, and then in the next verse is completely opposite. Says Krishna, I am in all, And then he said, I'm not in all. What means that? I mean, whom you will ask to clarify this conflict and to clarify this apparent contradiction in the verses? Your friends, your family, your girlfriend. And you can ask, of course, but will be able to offer a satisfying explanation? Are they trained for that? But the guru, because he is trained and he has been a sisya, a student, a real disciple, and he have received all these explanations and clarity from his guru, and his guru from his guru, and his guru, and so on from his guru, so on and so forth, and the entire guru parampara, then you can have the clarity that is needed. And that is everywhere, not only in Bhagavad Gita, everywhere there is contradiction, apparent, of course, apparent contradiction and lack of clarity. Because the scriptures are made for all kinds of people and all kinds of spiritual maturity levels. So they can work for all kind of people, and all kind of people can receive at least some kind of benefit, some kind of small understanding. But without a guru, you are doomed to failure. You are doomed to ignorance and darkness and confusion. But actually, we have this guarantee from the scriptures and the Holy Guru Parampara that if someone is following all the prescriptions from the Shastram, the result is guaranteed. You will have moksha. You will be a jnani, a self-realized one. You are already a jnani, but you don't recognize that. You are already Brahman, but you don't recognize that. And actually, moksha is to recognize that you have been always Brahman, nothing else than that. To recognize and to have permanent conviction that you have been always Brahman, always Nitya Mukta, eternally liberated, eternally self-realized. And this is the point, to recognize and to be convinced on a permanent basis.
Okay. And for to on the path, the sadhanas are required to that realization, right? So, if sadhanas are required to realize, then what kind of sadhana can a normal and young seeker like myself, as a student, as a college student, can perform? Like, how can I, move towards or move on that path?
Yes, it is all that I've mentioned till now. It is Sravanam, Mananam, Nidhi Dhyasanam, under the guidance of a competent guru, on a systematic and regular and very sincere also basis. And then, of course, to lead a spiritual lifestyle as per the Dharma Sastram, and to see according to your capacity, if you are not ready to enter completely the Jnana Yoga path, then you can also simultaneously, at the same time, you can also use Karma Yoga and Upasana. If you see that you cannot grasp completely the profound and abstract teaching of Advaita Vedanta, then you can do as much as you can, and at the same time prepare more the mind with Chitta Suddhi, purification of the mind, through Sravanam, through Karma Yoga and Upasana. And at the same time, you can also do a little bit Sravanam, a little bit Mananam, a little bit Nidhi Dhyasanam. That's why you must have a guru who can guide you as per your capacity.
Okay. Now, along with the sadhanas, and what about the daily tasks like my job and friends and traveling and college and like uh, in Gita the Krishna asks Arjun to renounce while being in the war. So, like, does that imply here, or like, how am I to treat my work and the sadhana part?
Yes, your entire work as a student should be offered to God Himself. Like all your work as a student can be transformed into karma yoga. You make it that your sadhana, and you try to make your student life as an offer to God, like as per the Dharma Sastram. For example, if you are a student and you are cheating in the examinations, that of course is not a real sadhana. But if you study earnestly and you try to be moral and you try to do your duties with morality, then it is itself, it becomes sadhana. And then when you have free time, you try to devote as much as possible time to study with Sravanam, Mananam, and Nidhi Dhyasanam under the guidance of the Guru. And of course, you can see your friends, but you must be very careful if your friends are pulling you or make you become more worldly and pursuing worldly things. And also a possible girlfriend. If, for example, a possible girlfriend who is not spiritual can destroy completely not only your process towards moksha, but also even the process towards to have a peaceful and happy lifestyle. So the same with friends who are not good friends. So the scriptures are guiding about all these aspects of life, like the way you live, the way you sleep, the way you eat. Everything is covered in full details in Sanatana Dharma in general. And things which are conducive in Sanatana Dharma are always are detailed in Sanatana Dharma. And things which are not conducive also are details there. For example, if you use alcohol in your free time or any other intoxicants, like drugs or marijuana or whatever, this will destroy not only the process towards moksha, but also just your simple life. It will destroy. And the same with meat, fish, eggs. Like if you don't use sattvic food, of course, it is not conducive towards moksha. Sattvic food is very important because it helps the mind to be sattvic and to be able to grasp the profound teachings of Advaita Vedanta. And also the way you sleep. If you sleep very late and you wake up very late, this also will create a disaster. So as per the Ayurveda, even scriptures or simple Raja Yoga principles, somebody should sleep with the rhythm of the sun, like sleeping as closer as possible to the sunset and waking up at least 2 hours before sunrise, and use Brahma Muhurta or Amrit Vela for sadhana, for meditation and spiritual study. So all these are very conducive towards self-realization, moksha. But if you follow Guru Parampara, and if you are regular, and if you have a constant relationship with your Guru, everything is guaranteed that you will not go into any traps. You will not have any troubles. There is a need of a regular contact with the Guru Parampara, the Guru and the teachings. And this is a guarantee that your process will be very fast.
Okay. that was clarified for me. Okay, now the Shastras also talk about the Vidya and Avidya, the knowledge about the Brahman and the worldly knowledge. And like, is the Avidya necessary? Like, uh, w- I know that the Vidya should be given more importance than the Avidya, but to live in this world, we need Avidya too. Uh, so like I don't know much about them, so I would like you to clarify more on them.
Look, avidya is lack of self-knowledge, lack of Atma Vidya or Brahman Vidya, like knowledge of Brahman or knowledge of Atma as your true self. So there is no way to have moksha, self-realization, if you have no Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya or self-knowledge or Jnana Yoga, which again it means self-knowledge. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that you should abandon your duties as a student, or if somebody is a father or husband or whatever. You just allow the prarabdha karma to unfold itself, and you remain as much as possible detached from the body-mind complex that till now you believe that you are. So the body-mind complex will continue to flow together with the prarabdha karma, the destiny, and you must just be detached. You must have what we call vairagya, detachment, and pursue moksha. So the body-mind complex tries to live as much as possible with conducive lifestyle as per the Dharma Shastram, and following the duties of life and the roles that should be unfolded. But the problem is when you become the roles, when you believe that you are the roles, when you believe that you are a student, yourself and your nature is that is a student or a male or a young boy or whatever. You are not. You are not the roles. The roles are mithya, impermanent and fleeting. The roles can be played, but with detachment. Like you recognize that the body-man complex goes through the destiny, the punyam moments, which are happiness, sukham, and also the papam, bad karma, which brings the fructification of bad moments, unpleasurable events and phenomena and relationships and troubles and whatever. You just go with this flow of prarabdha karma, and at the same time you should remember that what I am don't have prarabdha karma. Only the body-mind complex or the illusory one can have the prarabdha karma. What I am is beyond any prarabdha karma. Brahman never had any karma. Only the one who does not exist really have karma. So the roles can be played, but with detachment and with the knowledge. I don't have karma. I'm not a student. I'm not a male. I'm not this years old. I'm not married or not married. I'm just Brahman. I'm infinite impersonal consciousness awareness. But I see that the body-mind complex needs to exhaust its prarabdha karma. This has to be unfolded. So you just go with that and you remember the teachings. You try to do the process towards self-realization.
Okay. Yeah. I have two or three more questions, and that's all. And a question about attachments. The sages have been instructing us to have less attachments, but like in today's world, I have lots of attachment. I have my phone, this device, my house, and everything and all. So like I know I have to detach from them, or not physically, but within my
Mentally.
mind. Mm, and how each want to carry that out? Like, do you possess anything? Like, do you have your phone or anything?
Look, you don't need to worry about the things of the body-mind complex, and the studies and the objects are needed for the studies, and the lifestyle, and pursuing necessary objects for surviving. This are not bad. So we have, let's say, two kinds of desires. The desires which are binding us, binding desires, and desires which are normal and cannot bound us. So, for example, this body-mind complex and this physical appearance, Satchitananda can have a desire to help as many as possible through the teachings. We cannot say that all desires are bad, but the desires which are connected with ego gratification and sense gratification, and the desires which are completely worldly, can lead us astray, can make us only to end up in suffering and pain. Because when you invest in worldly things, fleeting worldly things, impermanent things, which are mithya, and then you will experience a lot of disappointment and frustration, and a lot of suffering and pain if you have invested and if you have expectations that this can give you happiness, real happiness, permanent happiness, bliss, and peace. They will never do so, because they are incapable. Worldly things are incapable of providing to us permanent peace, happiness, and bliss. They're just impermanent and fleeting. So by doing your studies, by having a PC, by having a mobile, and things that are somehow necessary for leading a normal lifestyle, this is not a problem. Like you use all these tools with logic and with the common understanding that they are helpful for a normal lifestyle. But if, for example, somebody is spending his entire day in Facebook or in other social media, and he's so much attached to these things, and trying to have fun and entertainment and happiness through this, it will create disaster. So there has to be time for entertainment, time for sadhana, time for your studies, time for see friends. Everything is fine when it is with common logic and as per the scriptures. And even to have a partner in life, also it is absolutely fine if this lady is a spiritual person. But if this lady will attract you and will ask you all the time to go to bars and to clubs, then of course this will lead you to a lot of suffering. So you should be very careful for your girlfriend, for your friends, for the way that you seek happiness. Worldly things can never offer to us permanent happiness, bliss, and peace. It is just impossible. So you try to find permanent peace, happiness, and bliss through your own real self, with capital S, through you as impersonal consciousness awareness. Happiness is always there. Like if I will ask you not to think for some seconds at least, is there any problem? Do you have any suffering? No, it is impossible. Suffering is only a story that you say to yourself. You are superimposing suffering to yourself. In reality, suffering is only an illusion. It is something that you say to yourself. You are superimposing on you, the unlimited one, as impersonal consciousness awareness. You are superimposing that you are a limited human being. And that will, of course, bring suffering. It is like an example that, like a joke, this body-mind complex is using is the number of your shoes. What is the number of your shoes?
Mine personally, number of shoes, around
If you
two or
take
three shoes.
if you take shoes with a number 3 and you put the feet in these shoes, what will happen? Pain.
They wouldn't.
Pain and
Yes.
contraction. It is called contraction. It is the same with the human beings. They believe they are so limited entities, just as small human beings in this vast universe. If you believe that you are such a limited being, can be ever possible, really possible, to feel free and to feel happiness? It is impossible, even through common logic. But what about when you recognize and see with total conviction that I was never an individual entity? I was never a person. I was never an ego. I was never a human being. What I am is unbounded ocean of consciousness, unlimited like the sky. And I'm totally free. I'm totally unlimited without any boundaries. Then is it possible to experience suffering? You cannot experience suffering if you know your true self, your true nature. It is impossible. So suffering is a kind of wrong gossiping with yourself. I'm this such and such person who have such and such needs, and I need to do such and such things, and I need to buy such and such things in order to be fulfilled and complete. But that is impossible. But you need to see your true nature. It is like you believe that you are a wave in the ocean, instead of recognizing that you are the total amount of water in the ocean, the entire water of the ocean. Then if you believe that you are a wave in the ocean, then you try to attract another wave to be your partner in life, let's say, as a symbol. You want to hug this wave and you want to make love with this wave in order to feel fulfillment or feel complete. But you also may want to attract more water, symbolizing possessions or money or wealth of any kind, or glory or fame. But what about if you recognize that you are not the wave, but the entire water of the ocean? Then you will not need to pursue or to attract more water. It is due to self-ignorance, due to avidya, that the suffering is an experience there. Because somebody believes that he is a body, his self is a physical body or a body-mind complex, a person. But this is a complete illusion. There are no persons. There are no individual beings. This is just an illusion. There is only Brahman or beingness, not beings. Existence, but not separate existent beings. But this you need to make it, to transform these informations that you receive now, this teaching, from this appearance and from the Guru Parampara, you need to transform that into your own truth in the heart of your heart. You need to make these informations, this data, your own truth. Not to be just an information that you have received from somebody. And go to your friends and say, yes, Satchitananda told me this and this and this. He told me that there is Brahman, awareness, consciousness, and also Advaita Vedanta is preaching that. This is only saying it as an information. But this must be your own truth in the heart of your heart, without any doubts. Like 24/7 for the rest of your life should be a total recognition and permanent conviction. And this can be accomplished only with the help of a Guru Parampara, a Guru, and a regular and systematic study of the scriptures, under, of course, the guidance of the Guru. Never alone.
Okay. Yes. I'm satisfied with that explanation. And okay, now going back to the what you said, the Manav Purusarthas, the sages have been telling us to shun the experiences of the senses, or the desires of the senses, and like as a teenager, to what limit I should try to avoid those things, because they seem inevitable in this age. So your thoughts on that, and how does that those gratification of the senses affect this journey as well?
Yes, the constant gratification of the ego and the sense gratification will never stop. So there has to be an understanding that the ego will never stop to ask more and more gratification of the senses. It will continue to ask more and more. So what is the solution here? The solution is to make it preferences, not needs. It is different to need to go out with the friends, and it is different when it is a preference. So the key word here, which creates attachment and disaster, is the need of something. If you need alcohol in order to feel complete and happy, that is a disaster. If you need a girlfriend in order to feel complete and fulfilled, it is a disaster. But there are some desires which are normal, and there can be satisfied without so much binding. Let's say if you want to enjoy a nice dish of food, you can enjoy it. It's not so big problem. But if you say every day to yourself, in order to feel happy and complete and satisfied, I need this particular dish of food, and you become like a crazy, so much attached to particular dishes of food, then of course it is problematic, because you are superimposing into your unlimited nature limitations. You are unlimited, and you are superimposing artificial limitations on yourself. You say to yourself, unless I will have this woman as a girlfriend, I will not be satisfied, I will not be happy and fulfilled. But it is not the truth, it is only your imagination. You are already, your true nature is already fulfilled and in happiness, in ananda, and fulfilled by itself. Only if you believe that you are a person, an individual identity, or a human being, these problems do arise. because it is only the thinking process that is creating these troubles. So some things like a good food and a good dish of food and a sweet and an ice cream and going out with friends are okay if they are with common logic and without exaggerations. And again, following all these desires and satisfying these desires only if they are in balance with the Dharma Sastra. I mean, you can make love with a female, but it is better to be your wife, not to be like a slave of the females, you know, and trying all the time to find a female to satisfy the body or the mind. But again, if you have a marriage and a wife, then everything becomes much better. Especially if the wife is a spiritual person who is supporting you in your pursuit for moksha, self-realization, then it's perfectly fine. And let's say you want to go to an excursion or to the nature with friends, it is completely fine. But again, it should be a preference, not a need. You say, I need to go with my friends in this trip, and if I don't go, I will feel miserable and unhappy and unfulfilled. This is a big problem. But if you say, I would prefer one day to go with my friends in this trip, then this desire cannot bind you. So it goes like this. You should make all desires like preference, not craving, struggling, needing, wanting. Because then you as you are unlimited, you become limited, a limited, wanting, needing, struggling, craving person. You become a slave of the ego, of the sense gratifications. Then how to speak about liberation? How to speak about being a Nitya Mukta, a liberated one? Your true nature is liberated, is Nitya Mukta, but you are superimposing this infinite list of wanting and needing of things. So preference is a very nice word to remember. Transforming all your desires into preferences, not needs.
Yes, yes, that was truly delighting, and now I think my questions are for now resolved, and I'm very satisfied and very delighted to hear all these answers from you. So, and like if you want to give any advice for me in order to uh, continue my sadhana and my journey, so please.
Yes, it is all these that are already, this body-mind complex already mentioned all. Like you find a guru, you do Sravanam, Mananam, and Nidhi Dhyasanam under his guidance. You lead a moral and spiritual dharmic lifestyle as per the Dharma Sastram. And you, of course, you do not become attached to the destiny for the body-mind complex. You look at the body-mind complex as a protagonist in a movie. And you stay as Satchitananda, which means you stay as the witnessing consciousness, which is your true nature. And everything will be fine. You will, if you follow this, what I have mentioned already, the result is guaranteed. You will have moksha sooner or later. You will recognize and you will be convinced that you are Brahman. that you are infinite impersonal consciousness awareness. It is a matter of following these instructions. And these instructions are not man-made. They are straight from directly from the rishis, and the rishis received all this from Isvara, from consciousness, which again is your own self. All these instructions are from your own self, the real self with capital S. And the result is really promised and guaranteed.
Okay, thank you so much, Satchitananda, for this delighting conversation. And I know you guys are working to establish an ashram. So very um, congratulations on your journey and on your works. I know you have been to India, and I was following your trips on Facebook. So and I was very happy to see you there. So congratulations, and very thank you so much. Thank you for this conversation.
You're most welcome. You can arrange again with my best Sisya, Andrew, after 1-2 weeks, again to have this private satsanga.
Okay. Yes, I will definitely try to arrange a meeting again. Yes.
Yes, Andrew is organizing all my work, and through him you can organize after 1 or 2 weeks our next satsanga.
And if you won't mind, like, can I invite some of my friends so that they would
Sure.
also.
Of course, everybody is most welcome. There
Okay,
is
I'll
there's
try to
no
convince my friends.
all are most welcome in our Zoom classes, and also all are most welcome for private satsanga.
Okay.
So all the blessings from the Guru Parampara, and just follow the instructions and everything will be absolutely perfect. Okay?
Okay.
So namaste. Blessings.
No.
Namaste.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः